Alrighty, and we are live. Hi everyone, welcome to another business broadcast. Steve Plummer here, joined as usual with my partner in no crime, Cam Roberts. Hi Cam, a warm welcome to you.
Hey Steve, how you going? Hi everyone, good to be here on the business broadcast. Looking forward to dropping some nuggets today.
Yeah, and timely, Cam, red hot business tips to end and to start the new year or kick the new year off with a bang.
Absolutely.
And who doesn't want that in in business, right? So yeah, let's dive straight in, Cam. I might start off with, if you like. One of my big things over the last, I don't know, maybe 5 years, and I mean, I know this is kind of consulting specific, but it doesn't have to be. One of the things I've done is I've always made sure November, December, a lot of people think, oh, it's wind down, I'm winding down for Christmas, but in certain industries, that's a really good time to either onboard new clients or to set up appointments for the next year. So you're not starting off when you get in the office the first day back next year and you're going, what do I do now? Right? You don't want to be in that position because the momentum is really hard. So I've always, as a habit, done marketing stuff now to get new clients, one, either started and onboarded in December, or two, at least 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 meetings set up for the start of the new year. So I've got momentum. And it's I think that's across many industries. And I think last time we spoke about, still make offers. And so we spoke about it's always in everyone's mind, but a lot of people think, or different industries at least think, everyone's winding down for Christmas. No one's thinking about it.
Big mistake. Leave lots of money on the table, with that mentality.
Yeah. And so you leave lots of money on the table, but you also give yourself a lot more heavy lifting to do at the start. You want to hit the ground running, and get momentum really quick. Because you think about it, if you leave it till January, half the time people aren't back in their office till the middle of the month, and then they're not thinking about anything till the end of the month. And so it's maybe February, even March before you're actually, you're starting anything, and that's right. You're gone. So it's really important now. And I don't think it's too late now. Sometimes it might be, businesses are closing Monday, but there still is scope and room to follow that principle. What can you do to follow that principle so it's not a zero start come day one next year that you're back in the office and back to work? So that's probably my biggest one, Cam, for ending the year, I think, is that one,
Yeah, that's really good. And, there's, like you said, it goes across multiple industries. But to give you an example, one that I've noticed, Steve, is private schools. My 2 kids go to private schools, and some of the private schools have already started promoting next year's enrollments. They just finished holidays. You would think, no, they're not going to promote it now, but I've seen signs up. I've heard ads on the radio. The buses are still driving around with the private school banners of enrolling next year. So even though they're not enrolling till February, they're still getting those marketing messages out there. And whether you're a mechanic shop, a bread shop, a flower shop, a gift shop, a school, an RTO, whatever it is that you do, consultant, coach, agency, now's a great time, to, like you said, start thinking about what you can do now to, ramp up into the new year. And it's almost like you're sliding down a mountain. You don't want to stop the momentum. You just want to keep going and go off that jump and just, launch into the new year.
Yeah. And 2 things. Number one, I just need to gloat and rub this in. I don't have any more school fees as of this year, as of now.
You can pay some of mine. You can pay some of mine.
Yeah, look, let me think about that. But so I just wanted to rub that in just a little bit there. But here's the thing.
You've had your fair share. You've had your fair share of school fees. 5 kids, right?
It was 4 kids, but
four kids,
maybe I'm the 5th in the family. The thing too is you think about, well, what angle? Well, we've just given you an angle.
Exactly.
Like what we're saying now. Your clients will like to hear and will respond to it. Resonates. Start off 2022 on the right foot. That same message is very, very powerful. So it's a really important point. That's a really good way to end the year, with things already in the diary for day one, or at least week 1 when you get back.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much work to do that. It's just a little planning. It's like a couple of little emails, 1 SMS, handful of social posts that you can schedule out now. And you can be on your break, and it can all be, scheduled out automatically so that people start ringing you, after Christmas. Yeah. Because, we said it last week, Steve, people are still going to spend money. Come Boxing Day, they're going to have Boxing Day sales. People are going to be out in force. They're going to go to the supermarkets, to the shopping centres. They're going to spend some money. So, while they're in the spending mode, you may as well get in front of them, offer them an opportunity to do business with you in New Year.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Yeah. All right, Ken, what else?
So, look, two things I wanted to talk about. Number one, while we talk about starting, like you spoke about, some of the things you can do at the end of the year, I want to talk about what you can do at the start of the year. So, one of the things that you should do before you kind of kick off in a big way in the new year, whether you're launching a new product, a new promotion, promoting existing services, whatever it is that you're planning to do in the new year to kick it off really well, make sure you've got a sales process ready before you spend any money on marketing or advertising. The biggest mistake I see a lot of people make, Steve, they reach out and they ask us, hey, can you run ads for us? Can you do this for us? Can you get us some leads? And 9 times out of 10, those people that ask us for lead generation or to manage their paid advertising, they don't have a formal sales process at the back end. And so what I mean is, like, if we drive 100 or 200 leads into their inbox or into their SMS, in the first week or two of January, they don't have a process of following up the 100. So they might, get the 100. But what if you call 100 people and you only get 10% of those people because the other 80 or 90 don't answer their phone, or they don't click the link, or they don't follow up from the webinar, or whatever it is. So it's really important that you have a sales process in place. In agency land, we call that a sales pipeline, not to be confused with a sales funnel. A sales funnel is marketing campaigns and landing pages at the front end, but at the back end inside your CRM, you have a sales pipeline to manage the lead flow and how people travel through your business, so that when you do get to January and you do start filling up your buckets with leads, you have a process and a place to put all of those leads, depending on where they are in their buying cycle, whether they're a marketing qualified lead, a sales qualified lead, whether they've had a proposal, whether they've booked a meeting, whether they've signed documents, whether they've paid their invoice. All of that can be tracked with certain CRM tools and sales automation tools, and it gives you the ability as the business owner to make better marketing decisions based on where people are getting stuck in their sales stages of their pipeline.
Yeah, that's a really good one, Cam. And I guess it loops back to I guess where we started. As in that was about filling the pipeline, right? So it's the same principle that on a macro and I guess at a more of a micro scale. So it's an energy thing, it's a momentum thing. It's really important to have something going, right? Because it's like it's like pushing, like I've said, a big rock uphill in the future. It takes so much effort to get the damn thing going, right? Once you get it going, it's easier. But you don't want to. You want that thing moving when you hit the office again next year. With no blockages, right? You don't want to be running around in front of the rock, pulling other things out of the way.
Or losing leads. You spend 2,000, 5,000, 25,000 on ads in the month of January, and you're only talking to 20% of those people, and the other 80% are just sitting there inside your CRM or database, waiting for you to do your email, or going to a competitor because you didn't follow them up quick enough.
And that especially today, people like that rapid follow up. We're very instantaneous, instant gratification. And I think that's only getting more and more.
With the amount of information that's out on the internet that people have access to, if you don't get back to them fast, they'll either forget about you, which is dangerous, or number two, even more dangerous, they'll spend money with someone else.
Yeah. Cam, here's another thing I'd just like to share. One of the things I do over the break, I always have a bit of reading lined up. Generally in 3 categories. It's generally a business book of some sort, and the one I've got lined up, I'm sort of a little bit way through it, but I'm going to finish it. Is that one, How to Lead a Badass Business from Your Heart? It's by Mackenzie Maslow. It's a really, really interesting book about heart-centered business. So that'll be my business reading over the holidays. I always read something for fun, some novels and things as well, just as a head clearer. And then the third thing I will read is some spiritual books. So I generally do those 3 things, and I just, whichever day I feel like, I'll get up and read, and I'll read for an hour or two, and that's part of my decompress, as George Costanza would say from Seinfeld, you know, on his
the
Summer of George holiday kind of thing, you know. And that's an interesting one too, because that leads me into one of the things I've always done for the last maybe 6 or 7 years is the first day back, I'll sit down with a cup of coffee and I read through breakthrough advertising. Why that one? Well, probably because it really just, and I probably only read the first 3 or 4 chapters, but it just seems to calibrate my mind back into that marketing space. So if there's something really good that gets your head in that zone when you get back, you know, who knows, maybe it's one of Russell Brunson's books or, you know, or whatever it might be, but I just do something that is going to get you back into business mode. And for me, it's breakthrough advertising, you know, so, and that's one of my rituals, I think, to start the day, you know, to start the new year. And sometimes I will take some notes, but more it's just a case of, tick, tick, that's right, tick, tick, tick on it. So it kind of sets in my mind things to look out for when I'm writing sales copy, for instance.
Excellent. Very good. And while you're talking about advertising, that segues into the last thing that I want to share, and that is don't put all of your eggs into one basket in the new year. So, you know, with Facebook advertising, a lot of people lean to Facebook. It's easy to get into. They can boost a post. You know, they can go in there and, you know, dangerously make mistakes, right? But it's one of the easier platforms to kind of get into and do paid advertising on. However, it's only one platform. There's like a dozen platforms out there with all sorts of niches and targeting that you can do. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, have a look at and see what Pinterest is doing. See what, you know, how you can do advertising on Pinterest. You know, surprisingly, Steve, we've become Pinterest partners in the last month. And the Pinterest folks were telling me that a large percentage of their pinners are actually interested in financial planning and financial information. And I was really surprised about that. So the two main pinners are, you know, in the finance space, so financial products. And so they get a lot of banks advertise on Pinterest, you know, for bank products and home loans and stuff like that, which is really interesting. I was quite surprised. And the other one, of course, which we all know is like home designs, anything to do with the home and, you know, homemaking and stuff like that. So they're the two biggest categories. So again, that's just an example of, well, you know, if you had a financial product, if you're a mortgage broker or a financial planner, you know, the banks are advertising on Pinterest, but here you are, you're just banking everything on Facebook, right? So keep open-minded about different advertising platforms. You've got Pinterest, you've got TikTok, you've got YouTube. You know, we don't stick to one, but, you know, we recommend advertising. God bless you, Steve. So we recommend channels based on our clients. You know,
it must be true, right? With the sneeze, the sneeze was a subconscious thing. It was true. Yeah,
even the bird heard you.
Yeah, true. They did too.
You woke up all the birds.
I think the interesting thing too, Cam, is but by all means branch out, but don't think you've got to do all 6 or 7 platforms.
Oh, of course,
you know,
of course.
We've always said,
Good
you know,
point.
this has been our mantra: is multi-channel. But don't spread yourself too thin, right? Get good at 2 or 3 or 4 or so of them, you know?
Yeah, 100%. If you've only got an ad budget of $2,000 a month, right, it's going to be, say, Facebook, Instagram, and maybe YouTube, or Facebook and Google, right? So you've only got a small budget. But if you're a larger company and you got like $25,000 a month, depending on your channels, you know, then you could go Google, YouTube, Facebook, and Pinterest, because you've got a significant amount to reach a lot of people on each of those individual platforms. But at $2,000, if you divide that by 4 and 4 platforms, as you rightfully pointed out, Steve, $500 a month on one platform, you're not going to reach many people at all. And so your ads aren't going to even perform on one platform. You're better off taking the $2,000 and go, you know, $1,000 on one, $1,000 on the other, whatever the split is based on, you know, your lead generation strategies.
Yeah, really good, Cam. And again, it's a nice reminder to close things out. But I think it's really, you know, people talk about you do your planning, you know, towards the end of the last quarter, the calendar quarter, that is, you know, for the next quarter. But I do see a lot of the time, Cam, with that, people don't start their next year with momentum. They might do the planning in the head stuff, but the momentum is a key for the following year, right? It is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that's a wrap. All good, Steve. Thanks very much for that. So, folks, if you want any more details or contacts from myself or Steve, just look in the comments below. You've got Steve's website. Reach out to Steve for everything, you know, business and sales strategy and copywriting. Reach out to me if you need something built. You know, we're there and we're here to help. Otherwise, we might squeeze one more in next week. We're not sure, Steve, are we?
Yeah. We'll have a crack at it. Hey? Have a crack
see.
before we go on holidays.
Yep, that'd be good.
Yeah.
And so we'll see everyone next week.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Cam. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you later.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.